Now let's get ready for what should be the final episode or stream, if you're watching here live, of our prequel series. Coach Bronson Moreau, he has come quite a long way in his journey so far, and frankly, it has been an extraordinary journey for him, I should say, getting back to football. We're sitting at 6-1 right now. Last year we went 9-5. Actually, no, that was not our record from last year. I think we're actually slightly better than that, but we did win the Sun Belt. We won the Myrtle Beach Bowl. We took home some awards, and we have the possibility today to bring home a lot more awards, some more trophies as we wrap things out. Some of those that we are going to be looking to bring home is going to be some rivalry games. We've got ours against Georgia State and Appalachian State here today. Plus, on top of that, we are well on our way to a Sun Belt title game and what should be a really good bowl game. So this may be a longer stream today. It's going to depend on how these games shape up. If they're close, we'll keep playing. If we start to blow teams out like we did last time, then we will look to start jumping through these perhaps a little bit quicker, because the goal, as mentioned at the top, is to get through the rest of this prequel series here today. So let's make sure we're tuned up, ready to get on in. And in fact, let's make sure we get on in here. So we're not gonna, lollygag around here any. It's time to jump straight on in. We've got Texas State up first, and frankly, they're not doing all too well. They were an interesting team last year for about half the year, the first half of the year. It looked like they were going to be in the running for that Sun Belt title game. Fortunately for them, things kind of fell off. Really bad last half of the season. They missed out. We made it with ULM against Georgia Southern. And with that, we won our first Sun Belt title game. Now we're looking to do it for Georgia Southern, taking on Texas State, who's just had a really bad entire year. Loco here is ready to go. Make sure I actually get volume to myself. That'll help us out as we are closing in to the start of college football 27, just about a month away. And we're going to be spending this next month talking a whole lot about college football 27 and how we plan to enter into the year with all the new changes. And those changes are going to dramatically affect Coach Bronson Moreau, as that was a muffed return. Luckily, we get it. We just made ourselves a little bit harder. Starting back at the 12. Elijah Walton, 7 grabs, 2 touchdowns last week. The tight end getting a bit more involved. That is the hopes in college football 27, to see a lot more usage of the tight end. Of course, tight ends being added into Road to Glory will be probably our first Road to Glory over there. We've got to talk a little bit as well of your all votes. That was not a great way of saying it. Got to talk a little bit about everyone's votes for what you wanted to see for this next football season. It's been a tight race, but just college football took charge today. So that is what it's looking like, as it's looking like this run from Robinson's going to be coming back. We've experienced a lot of holding calls with this team. Hopefully today we don't see these continue to rack up. We'll give Williams a little bit of some leeway to start this one. But a 1st and 20 could be our last time here with Weston Bryan as well, as he's going to look to leak out our Ben Roethlisberger 2.0, sliding down just in front of the line to gain. Now, last time and the time before, we did see him fumble the ball quite a lot. So the goal today is, well, we still want him to be running. Speaking of running, Bradley checks in for a good one. I do want to make sure we keep our quarterback clean. That's going to be a focus here for us throughout the remainder of this season. And hopefully bring in a few more awards, make things a little bit more exciting for the start of our College Football 27 series. Still dialing in a little bit of the teams that we're going to be looking to utilize. I'm hoping to get a little bit more information on certain pageantries that were added, kind of what they're looking like, as we're going to look to scramble out here. Get that one out to Robinson. Avoid taking the sack, though not avoid taking the hit. We're definitely narrowing things down, though, for the teams. I am definitely, I think, considering some of the bigger name schools earlier on here with all the big changes, as Weston Bryan with another big scramble sliding down inside the 15. But sometimes, at least based off of what I'm seeing, I think it would be good to start, potentially, with a bigger school, a bigger NIL budget, but still in a very difficult recruiting region. Because I still want the difficulty. I just want to make sure we can actually utilize this system in the first couple years. As there's a flag thrown here. Who's it on? Is that a second one for Williams? If it is, he's gone. No, Chandler Strong. So back us up then to the 23. Did I stop the music? No, I didn't. Let's stop that up right now. There it is. Probably should just go ahead and do that every time I turn off the camera too. As there's a good spin, taking it down to the 7 goes Robinson. Of course, Branson's been a huge part of this team's success. We got to get to know Bam McReynolds last year. Now getting to know a different running back that could potentially be in play for us in college football 27. Can't remember where I think Weston Bryan was already with Georgia Southern. Potentially could be a transfer guy, as that's going to be an easy walk-in touchdown. The offense picking up right where they left off last time with some dominant play. It looked like that might have been Weston, the tight end, down after the play. So a little bit of some sweet and sour. Hopefully nothing too bad. Still a terrific start here for us in this one. We'll look to continue on, and as mentioned at the top of the stream, if things get broken open, we'll start jumping through a little bit more. We've got a lot of games to get through today. We've been primarily just doing about 4 or so games. We have upwards of 6 games, I believe, here today. Defense already given up a few more yards than they have the rest of these starts, but ultimately they do get the stop, and we will take over with yet another long field. This time we start at the 10. College Football 27 beta is done. Curious of those who did play it, how you feel about it. I've heard a lot of things about the defense. I've heard some smack talk from a few people. That's for sure. A few of them saying that we're not going to be able to do what we have done in 26 and 27. I don't know if they're complimenting the game or if they're just not respecting, though that one's incomplete. But maybe they're just not respecting our game plan and how we build around here. So we're going to put that all to the test here soon. Really excited to see how that all goes. Probably not going to jump in immediately to starting a dynasty as we get the first down, but another holding call comes in. But I imagine the first week or so, we're probably going to do a whole lot of streams, just playing the game a little bit. I believe that is the second one for Williams, so now he's going to get pulled. Wrong one. But I think that's going to be the game plan for College Football 27, is we are going to start the first few days with some streams, just playing around, getting to know the game a little bit. Might jump in and do maybe like a test franchise, play around with that one day. And then the final day will probably be a spring game, because I don't believe that was something that was added. I know that was something a lot of people wanted. I wanted a spring game added, just a chance to get to know the roster a little bit, as we do not convert the third and 13, 4th and 2, we will punt. That's kind of what I'm imagining we're going to do to start College Football 27, just so the game gets its first day patch and we don't start our dynasty with any sort of game-breaking mechanics, which hopefully is not there, but you never know. That's kind of been the thing with sports games or not even sports games, just games in general over the last little while. Texas State going for it on 4th down and taking us into the second quarter. Converting, but not doing much there with the first play after. Picking up a few, 3rd and 7. Now it's 4th and 3. That math doesn't math. And once again, they get it done on 4th down. Why not? Jeremiah Tickett, though, with the sack and a gain of 1. I don't know why. I think it's because of ULM. I keep seeing the red pop up, red and gold, and I keep thinking it's us, but it's not. Another 4th down, this time and goal from the 11. And now they finally settle for the field goal. 7-3 here into the second quarter, that is. Man, my mind is still running all over the place here today, apparently. Let's get back into this thing. Get our offense out on the field. Great first drive. Not so much second. I have to wait till the 9th, so hopefully they'll do first day patch before worldwide release. Normally it's like same day. So they'll have the patch release at the same time as the full game releases. So you could obviously do your pre-download. And then when you go to play it that first day, you'll just have to update a patch. It typically is how they've done it. But again, would be great if the game doesn't need it and it's ready to rock and roll out the quote-unquote package. Unfortunately, we all know packages no longer a thing. You download games now. Even if you have the physical game, you still have to download something, which is crazy to me. As there is a good run, and that is behind the backup that we had to put in due to all the holding calls coming from Williams. Really did a great job of bringing in depth to this offensive group here. Really bailed out the penalty-ridden offensive line. As we got another check down, there's a truck stick. Robinson. Really hoping to see a lot more of that in 27. And haven't been able to play it myself, but if we could get the power game back, I think that's going to fit the kind of offense I'm looking to build here. As we got our tight end, though. No, not tight end. That's the 6'5" receiver. Incomplete, though, as the switch from the safety. He played it well, though. That was his job out there, to be that lurking guy downfield. We'll go to our tight end underneath. And he's got the first down, unfortunately, yet again. Holding calls. I believe this one is on Rommel. You think with how many times we've seen this offensive line with their holding calls, I'll know for sure. But it is indeed Rommel. 3rd and 13. Back to the midfield line. Again, it's accurate, but maybe it's still just a little bit too much. We try to work the pocket here. We got our man open downfield. Good adjustment from Dallas, but he couldn't quite keep his feet. We'll take the first down, though. No penalties. A little bit of some hurry up here. Looks like they're not respecting our tight end very much. See if we can get him down the field then. Under pressure plus a sack. We've said it before. We will say it again. If you're going to hold, your quarterback better not get touched. Unfortunately for Braden Joyner, who was the guy that we subbed in, not the case, and Chandler Strong injured on the play. Not great news for us offensive line-wise. Looks like we might have to substitute him out, make a few more substitutions as well. So let's get Williams back in there. I believe it was Strong. We'll have to slide Joyner over there. So he's not out of the game, but it's still a little bit of a punishment for him. As we got yet another first and a country mile here. Almost had a gap. Good play, though, from the defenders to keep it just a gain of 4. But a lot is to come here for Coach Moreau. Not only is he going to be just taking over a new team, but a lot of new mechanics we've got to worry about. Gray, though, gets the first down. No laundry in the backfield. Very interested to see as well how the use of the support staff does. If we could kind of offload a lot of that, if we get a good support staff, they can kind of take care of things. Robinson up and over, but then smacked down before his feet could even touch the ground. The hurdle's been actually working a lot better here of late. Get the pitch out late. Robinson, not quite there yet. He's sitting at 9 carries, 81 yards. Looking to hit pay dirt here. Going to keep the same play, just going to the opposite side here. Out to Robinson. Lower the shoulder and run them through. We've got a touchdown for Georgia Southern as they take a 2-score lead here on the Bobcats. And hopefully we're going to see a whole lot more of this power to the veer and shoot. I think I've been influenced by the play here of Robinson and a little bit of Bam McReynolds. That while I originally wanted to do more of a veer and shoot offense, I think we're going to be building more so of that hybrid. And that's the whole point of this series, is to kind of build up to the release of College Football 27, and I think we are going to go with a mix of a veer and shoot and a power spread. We did a lot of more agile type play here in College Football 26, so just a little something new. Not sure why we ran that kickoff, but why not? Again, we're going to be taking over a whole new team rather soon, so we better get used to calling some defense. Obviously, with the Kent State series we got going, we're doing just fine with that. Looking to wrap that up, might be just at about the same time as College Football 27 releases, and just get the job done there. They needed 6, they get 6. Yeah, definitely feeling like we're building something good here with this offense. Really enjoying the style as we get the ball back with the defense picking up the stop. Around a minute to go. We had just one off season here with Coach Moreau, and he did build us a really nice offense, so I trust in how we understand to build for this offense. Robinson couldn't quite squeeze it, had a couple chances at it. I am curious on what type of offense you all are planning to utilize as well. Is there something new you're wanting to run, or a certain playbook you're wanting to run? I did hear something good. I believe it was Boise State, and there was one other with a holding call, of course, here on the halfback screen. But I did hear at least Boise State was one for sure. It has a really good playbook for 27 with some base plays. That one's on Williams. These guys that we bring in, this time due to injury, so it's not really like there's something we can do there in terms of subbing him out. We're going to go right back to the screen, and it's yet another penalty. So I think we take this one to halftime now. If the offensive line is just going to keep holding, I think that's 2 straight holding calls on Williams. Indeed it is. Well, we said that there's nothing we can do. Technically there is. It just might not be for the best line out there. We'll get the other Williams in, and I think we should actually be fine now, because we had Joyner switch over. We took out the other Williams. Either way, I think that's the game saying we should probably take this one to halftime. But I don't know if I agree. We're going to keep risking it here with a 2nd and 30. Back at our own 14. A little bit of some play action. Going to find that soft spot in the zone, and he gets clobbered. That should have been a penalty. Instead, we get a penalty on Robinson. 2nd and 40. Or actually, no, they can't do 40. They have to just half the distance. Well then. This time we'll listen. We'll just kneel this one to halftime. Of course, Texas State's calling timeouts. The game really wants them to have the ball. And if I know EA, they're somehow going to get a miraculous touchdown with about 20 seconds on the board. So might as well just look to run this one. Because if we just keep getting called for holding, we could at least maintain possession and drain the clock that way. As now Williams is injured. The guy we just put back in. You know, sometimes EA's going to EA. We'll look to punt this one away, and we're going to get to the second half here rather shortly. Hopefully with no shenanigans from the Bobcats. Not a great punt, though, and a really good return. What did I tell you? They're going to look to make something happen here. They get 12 yards, but do not have enough time. They do, however, tack on the field goal, so still at least getting points. And we're the ones kicking away, so they will start with the ball. Watch them go take a lead here. Actually, no, they can't even take the lead. We're getting penalties on defense as well. 18 yards to Tyrone Browning. Browning, of course, with Kent State. Really big last game. An injury to Austin Turner, the tight end for the Bobcats. However, they are around the 20-yard line here, and now down to the 5. With a fumble, we recover at the 15. Looks to probably be a sack fumble. Defense, thank you. Helping us out because EA Shirley was not there. Now let's just see if we could actually run some plays without getting called with those holdings. As Robinson, he's got some space, toting that rock up to the 37. No yellow on the field. Need to see a lot more clean play like that. Williams is also back out there. We saw him get a little bit banged up before half. They send the blitz. We'll float this one outside. Not quite getting the block. We do, however, shed the tackle. Not getting any extra post shed. You love seeing that physical abilities here. Had a great time, College Football 26, with more of the speed type guys. As Weston Bryan tackled for a loss. Probably should have handed that one off, but it is yet another holding call. If someone wants to keep track here today, we'll get a total at the end. And it's Johnny Williams right back in from injury and holding yet again. Another reason why we need the veer and shoot to just get the ball out there as soon as possible. And, well, I say that. Pass was out there pretty quick, but it is another one here. What are we up at, 8? And it's Williams. I think we got to take him back out of the game. Injury there to 2 players. Don Crow and Aiden Jones, both for Texas State. Well, clearly, whatever the injury is here for Williams, he's not able to play very cleanly right now. Prefer to have Joyner in the game. Now, we had to take out our center earlier in Strong because he was a bit banged up. So let's just, once again, shuffle these guys around just so we could run some plays here. I don't think I'm asking for too much. I'm going to flip this, though. A big thing, College Football 27, is making sure you got your reads right. So we're definitely be talking a little bit about those here shortly. As we're just going to scramble forward, get what we can, cleanly. No penalties for us that play. Cross your fingers, knock on wood. With a 3rd and 5, a little hard count. Penalty thrown this time, though, is going to be against the Bobcats. They get Brown Jr. jumping early. However, not enough for the first down. Got to make sure we earn it. Make sure we get a nice double there with the big fella. We can handle the smaller DT. Robinson, first down here, not by much, but it gets the job done. That's all we need. A little sluggo going here. Well, they are playing off coverage. They're taking that outside away. Let's look to go underneath then to Gray. First down for him. And now we're picking up some plays here, several in a row without a penalty. That's something Georgia Southern really has not accomplished much this season. I'm going to try to spread out this defense a little bit more here. They've been closing down the box the last few runs. What do we look like out there? Pretty good with a matchup. Safety, though, does look to bail. Pressure builds and pressure hits. It'll be a loss of 1. Aiden Jones. One of the guys who did have to leave the field on that previous drive. It might have even been this drive. Not a good throw there. A little bit slow off the line. I was hoping to get that a little bit quicker. Do not plan on actually running this play here, but I want to see if we can maybe work our way into field goal range. As we do get a man to jump, that'll move us 5 yards closer. Looks like Castellanos. See where the referees mark this one here at the 36-yard line, and that is enough to trot out the field goal unit. With a good bit of wind at our back. Angle looks good, and it's got enough leg. Tack on 3. We don't completely shank a long field goal. What is this? That's not the normal here. Considering we did send one of our kickers to the mean machines for all the points he was just absolutely shedding. Interception from Jaden Davis as well. And we are right back out onto the field. Like a quick one-play touchdown here. Getting to the head of the Bobcats. Ooh, that's a good switch back, but then he goes too far back and forgot about the tight end. Make it 3 touchdowns in 2 weeks. That was just an awful play. I don't know if that was the safety or linebacker, but 23 had him covered and then bailed. Elijah Walton will send him a little gift basket after that one. I should make that 25, not 23. And now we're definitely feeling a little bit more comfortable around here. 24-6 as we look to get close to the fourth quarter here. Inside about a minute and a half to play. And we might start jumping around a little bit more in this one. Again, we've got a lot of games to get through today. We'll let the offense look to at least handle themselves. We'll jump in if it's a big-time play. But 3rd and 9, and that one is thrown away. The Bobcats at least with a good start here to the fourth quarter. Though they've yet to find the end zone. Just 2 field goals, a 4th and inches. They went for it on 4th down earlier this game. They did it, but don't get it. Gavin Parkhurst taken down for a loss. And you know what? We're starting plus side, so let's jump on out. The receiver stacks here. The sideline side of the field, it does look interesting. And a flag down. Unfortunately, that's going to take away a touchdown play to Maher. And I'm not going to lie. I'm going to break the 4th wall here, even though we kind of do in the streams. That was a blind throw. I just knew I had a one-on-one. Pretty good blind throw. But a 1st and 20 as it is erased. Look to go with a run here, but space opens up. Not going to be a touchdown, but we do at least make it a 2nd and 7. In a 13 there on the run. Which we should probably be chewing clock here anyway. As Bryan is going to look to step up. Call it about a gain of 4. Make sure we chew on that chew clock. Got a good hat count here as well. And Robinson is free, headed downfield with a head of steam. He's down inside the 10 with a $159 on 17 carries. That's why I want the mix of the veer and shoot and the power spread. That way when everyone looks to bite down, we can then go with the speed outside. They go to cover the speed outside, well then we hit him with the power down the middle. Stanton Rommel injured on that play. He's been the starter over on the left side here, starting left tackle. Exits the field, the 2nd and goal at the 2. And a good cut from Robinson, and he's in. This game is definitely one-sided. They get 31-6, and we'll look to get close to the end of this one. If any shenanigans start to pop up, we will jump in from there. But this is what we want to see, even late on in the season. Start to just destroy teams, really carry ourselves here, and make sure we end our season with a big finish. 4th and 10 here. They do, however, get the 1st down, picking up 12. Sacked by M.J. Stroud the following play. Penalty's not going to help them out. They got a 3rd and 13, and that is with Ardell Banks gaining 6. They get 3 more. They tried it. 4th down earlier, worked out for them. This time they need a long 11, and they got 16. There's no quit with a 30-yard spark here. Unintended. Now can they just find the end zone? A little something to help them out. Well, Brock Riker, not exactly the case there. 3rd and 19, they get 3. How about 4th and 17 down at the 25? That's not going to get the job done. It'll be Georgia Southern looking to run this one out as we move inside 2 to play, but we do not, however, get the 1st down there. So ball goes over to the Bobcats, and they at least finish strong here. Well, there's a big play. Sack, though, to follow by Caleb Ellis. And a touchdown. They finally get it to Ardell Banks. Just a little bit too late. 31-13 with the point after. And there's your ball game. Game 1 of today is yet another big win here for Coach Bronson Moreau. Taking down Texas State. Branson Robinson, $167, 19 carries, and 3 touchdowns. not even counting what he did today via the receiving game. Really liked what he's put forth. Now, did he transfer anywhere in the offseason? Real life offseason? Because if so, we might need to find out where that man went. Last time, Loco, you helped me out with Bam. Think you could do a little search up for me real quick? Look at the face back up in here. Now, last time with Bam, we did find out he went to UAB. UAB is on my school list for College Football 27, as well as East Carolina, Mississippi State, South Carolina, and there might just be a few others that I'm going to leave out there just in case. That is week 1 of today done. Branson Robinson, Sun Belt Player of the Week. Does he get another natty? No, not another national. Do we have him at least in the Heisman race? Yes, we do, and he is all the way up top. Speaking of Mississippi State, they got a man up here in that running with a guy from Clemson, Florida State, and Alabama. Arch Manning went to Alabama. So he forewent another NFL draft. That's funny. Up next, we got James Madison. Now, James Madison is a pretty good team down here in the Sun Belt. They're not very highly rated, with their offense sitting at a 66. Defense is at a 59, but they are 6-2, 5-0 in conference play. Them and Southern Miss are the other undefeated teams here. So things could still get wacky. But we are in the driver's seat. Let's make sure we continue to drive smoothly on down the field, put some more points on the board, and make sure we send ourselves to that title game, something we did not let Georgia Southern get last season. Of course, we still won that with Coach Bronson Moreau. What other options we have here? I don't feel like we've done a white helmet with the blue, so let's just go ahead and do that. What kind of helmets does JMU have? White dog. I do like a dog. I do like it. Gold text looks a little bland. Gold dog. Let's have them go with the gold here. Why not? A little something different. He's still at Georgia State, so he didn't transfer? Or did he transfer into Georgia State this last year? I remember we had a conversation about him in Georgia State. Looks like we got ourselves a late evening game. Just about nighttime here as we welcome in the Dukes. Looking for another big win. We have shut teams down, and that's become the expectation. So this time we are not starting off with the ball, so let's just head on over then to the sideline with a normal speed. Thank you very much. See what our defense starts us off like. Well, that looks pretty good to me. An interception coming from Chance Gamble. It was a quarterback taking a chance on that throw. Unfortunately, the gamble for him did not pay off. That would have been a whole lot better if I didn't stumble on it. But we got the ball here at the 32. And it's Robinson right back down the middle, coming off that Player of the Week performance from Georgia to Georgia State in 2024. Well, who knows? Maybe we can convince him to go wherever we go, College Football 27. Or could he be graduating actually by then? He might be graduating by then. I don't know. How long people stay in college football really just makes no sense to me anymore. What an adjustment, though, from Bryant. Flipping around and hooking up with Maher. Unfortunately, Chandler Strong injured on the play. That very much resembles some Big Ben kind of play. Big Ben and Najee in the backfield here. I think they played together for like a year or two. Would have been the very end of Roethlisberger's time, though. The second and goal. Get a little something free there as we get the very small defensive tackle to jump. The guy looks more like a linebacker. He's a senior this year, so yeah, probably not going to be able to get him then, but we might play against him. I guess spoiler there, already eliminated Georgia State. The second and goal here now at the 3. Bryant keeps but taken down. Big man shows up in Kells Bush. There's a pun there, but we're not going to say that one. Third and goal, back at the 7. Throwing this one outside. Sticky paws for the touchdown. Cue up that music. What's taking them so long? Dallas with the touchdown. A very hard-thrown ball, too, from Weston Bryan. Held on to for an early score here in this one. And hopefully one of just many more to see. Yeah, well, our defense does here with a full drive from the Dukes. Well, that's going to be a quick stop with a dropped pass by Ron Ruggs. And we'll take back over down to the 17. On field in front for a methodical offense. And there's the first one, I believe, of this game. That run's coming back. Call it on Aramo. Just too many. And again, for those wondering, and for those who are watching all series, we are using the same difficulty settings and sliders that we do in the Kent State series. So it is just purely based off of the fact that we've got some lower overall offensive linemen, and Damian Woods with the sack, hearing us talking some smack over on the sideline about how small he is, just showed how strong he is there. We're going to toss this one downfield. Tommy Maher can't quite get to it. Almost going the Duke's way there. Only one thing for us to do, the situation like this. Loco, your list was updated or has been updated to FSU, Houston, Mizzou. Houston or FSU still ahead. Mizzou would be an interesting one. I know one guy specifically around here would love to see us take over the Tigers. Really could use that block there, Dallas. I'm in. Houston one is interesting. Again, you got to compete with all the bigger Texas teams in terms of recruiting. But they're still a big enough school that you're going to have at least a decent NIL budget out the gate. FSU, though, obviously not the top tier of the Florida schools over the last handful of seasons. They're on the move. They're getting better. Northwestern has a brand new stadium. I did hear that is already in the game, despite the fact it is not actually, I think, completely done yet, though it is close to being done. Should be done for the first game of the season. Northwestern is an interesting one, too. I mean, they got some decent uniforms. Go with I think, white, black, and purple, I think is the only options they have. I don't think they have a gray or anything like that. As James Madison drives down the field and ties this one up. All thanks to the holding penalties. Yeah, Northwestern, nice new stadium. FSU, I think, might be more of the easy mode, easier rebuild there. Even though you got like Miami coming off the Natty. Florida hasn't been as good, but still can pull recruits. So there's a good balance there. Not a whole lot of variety, I feel like, in the uniforms. They do at least have the gold pants. Branson Robinson almost breaking through there. FSU shouldn't have any NIL. They are broke in real life. Do they still have the penalty on them? Is that why they don't have any money, or do they just not have any money because they're bad at keeping their money? Because colleges make a whole lot of money. I can tell you that. Especially football programs. They make a lot of money. As that one floats on into Walton. I believe I called him Weston in that previous game. That's my bad. Walton, put some respect on his name. That's why Norvell is still there. Yeah. We're all going to have to experience a little bit of that, right? We might want to fire our coaches but we might not have the money to bring in new coaches. So that's definitely going to be a new element. Another time he goes up and over one, but taken down before he can reach the ground. As we reach the end of the first quarter, Branson Robinson just getting going here as the game is tied up 7 apiece. Though we are on the doorstep thanks to another good run from number 22. And of course, we've also had some good passing attack as well. You didn't think about that element. Yeah, that's why I'm here, Loco. I'm here to break everyone's hearts, right? There's so many good elements to the college football 27 atmosphere that it's also going to cause a lot of problems. That's a legal pick play for a touchdown. It's Walton, not Weston, and we retake that lead. But don't worry, you'll be able to get some money. Somehow, some way, you'll be able to get that money and be able to hire your coaches eventually. But by the time you save the money to hire your coach, well, maybe your stadium is in disrepair. I do wonder how bad it can get. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying to remember some of the things I was reading about it, but also if your stadium gets worse, then, again, if we're talking real life effects of that, the field itself is going to be poor quality, and the worse quality of the field, the more chance that you could actually get injured on the field. And I believe it does also affect the injury ratings of your players too, or the likelihood at least of an injury. So there's, so many different elements that were added. It really is turning it into a chess game, right? And football is a chess game. Penalty, not what we want to see. I was hoping that would be an interception. They get a penalty back, though, obviously not comparable. 2nd and 18, they get 13. How about 3rd and 5? And there's the interception we thought we had earlier this drive. It's Jaden Davis. We'll take back over inside the second quarter here at the 42-plus side. They're backing everyone off. I do like the hat count. For those who don't know what I mean when I say hat count, helmets inside the box versus blockers we've got inside the box. 5 on 5, that means that we have a free lane to run in most of the time. You do still need good blocking. Again, we're going to go over all that kind of stuff. We're talking about college football 27 and the new features and how it's going to change how we play. Tommy Maher here with the good catch. I believe it's Tommy. It sounds right. At least Maher. Hat count here not good because they actually have 6 in the box versus only 5 blockers. So that's when you don't check to the run. Going up to the tight end, and he can't hold on. That was a good throw, though, from Weston Bryan. Really good throw. Now we do have 6 blockers, 6 in the box, so it's still a good head count. Do still need our tackle to actually block the defensive end. Hat counts don't really do much if you just straight up let the man through. Change Maher into a drag. That's not what I meant to do. Drag. I like that. As it gets him wide open over the middle. Tommy Maher not able to juke out the safety, but a 1st and 10 to the 14. Look for a little screen here, perhaps. And check out of that. Quarterback blast. Hat count out there was not great. Bryan will pick us up about 5. Talked about trying to keep him clean. Now, he's taken some hits in these last couple games, but for the most part, he's been kind of kept clean, especially with all the holding calls. Robinson with a 1st down there. Make it 1st and goal. Down at the 4-yard line here, it's Biggs versus Biggs. And they clear the way for Robinson. Your Heisman favorite just continues to run over these defenses. Big thanks to the blocking, though. The run blocking has been good. It's been more of that pass blocking that's been a bit up and down with those penalties. But honestly, what would this series be without those penalties? They've kind of become a character within their own. 21-7 here midway through the second. A good way to start. Brian Nat picking up 22. 22 more here for Kyrie Barber. And then an incompletion from Grayson Loftus. Another incompletion, 3rd and 10, and this time it's just for 4. At least inside field goal range, they do tack on 3 to make it 21-10. About 3.5 minutes to play in the first half. Once again, we're trying to pull away here. Our focus is shifting more towards the postseason. And it'll be a keeper here for Bryan. Going to scoop forward. Not giving the first down, though. I don't know how I feel about that. Well, it's 2nd and inches. Everyone is playing off coverage. Single high. We'll just pick up the free. Sliding down then at the 44-yard line. A little celebration to only go with some hurry up here. A little RPO in the mix. They're spread so wide, can't see them. And this one off. Good block there, 58. Robinson will scoop forward for 8. He's at 10 carries, 53 yards. Simple math is 5.3 a carry. Just needing 2 more here. Good route ran. Not as good of a throw, but Walton with the catch still manages to turn up. We'll see if we get this ball snapped here with time to spare before the 2-minute breather. Safety's definitely guarding the deep outsides. But we're looking to go over the middle, but overthrowing the 6'5" Gary. Looked like it was almost a really good touch pass. Needs a little bit more work on it, and that is where we need the chip mechanic. College football 27, and you know I'm going to be using a lot of that. Want to make sure we keep our quarterbacks clean, and on things like that, where it looks like they're going to have that free man, just give a little bit more time to us. High pass here goes to Gary, and he comes down with it, unfortunately, yet again. Ramos here to rain on the parade. That one will be coming back. And he will be headed to the sideline, as that is already his 2nd, if not 3rd, holding call of the game. Let's look to get Joyner out there, the man who's played all over the field for us this year. Though he has not played cleanly either. The 63 in the game, and he's going to help try to lead the way here perhaps for us. As we the big man 70 downfield. Robinson with a stiff arm buys him just enough time to convert. For those wondering why I always go with the screen there, that's why. Get the convoy in front. On the move here, throwing. Hopefully, I was trying to keep that one shorter. Obviously, that didn't happen. That's one thing about the touch. I would like sometimes the touch to be a little bit shorter, so I can't obviously step into that kind of play. Use our blocks here, or at least use our blocker here as a shield. I do wish you could kind of change how deep that loft goes without having to use that left stick, place the ball stuff. Because when I'm rolling around, I don't got time for that. No one's got time for that. Robinson almost stays on his feet. He thought about going up and over. Instead, he just launched himself into the defender, ricocheting off of him, off of another, and finally to the ground, marked down at the 1. For a 1st and goal, not quite. Duke's calling their timeouts here. Someone check their mascot because the cape's going through the man. I don't think that's how that was originally designed. Leaving 2nd and goal. Robinson is in for more. Stacking these on here in the latter part of the season. Making sure no one can come close in the Heisman race. We're looking for back-to-back years of Sun Belt titles. And as well, Heisman winning running backs. That is what Coach Bronson Moreau brings to the table. And that's exactly what he's telling these teams when they're coming calling. Being like, what are your thoughts? Well, this is what I could do for you. What can you do for me? Someone to guard Kyrie Barber maybe would be great. That's another 20-plus yard catch for him. And here comes Braden Wislowski for 30. Duke's looking for something before the halftime break here, but stalling inside the red zone. Oh, they're going to get it with Kyrie Barber. They're keeping themselves in this one. Again, they've had a good season this year. They are undefeated in conference play. They're trying to keep this one tight. Let's see if we can get something cheap here, though, before the break. First off, not a double post. Just thought I should put that out there. 16 seconds, we got 3 timeouts, and they're playing 2 deep safeties lurking over the middle. I think that's our note. We'll let that one then go straight to halftime. They were prepared. After all that running, they still did not bite in on it. They'll take this one through halftime. We, however, do get ball after half. That's good news for us, as we remain up 11 here. Joseph getting underneath this one. Looking for the return. And some decent blocks. I needed at least a little chip there on 6. We don't get it. But we do still at least start at the 21. Number 22 being the leader of this offense here today. Looking for that gap, and he'll hit it, picking up 6. 16 carries, 84 yards. Hasn't really broken off that big one yet. He's been good for about one of those a game. We'll play action. Wide open field. We'll take that one. Getting down safely is Weston Bryan. The head first dive at the 42. Maybe he played a little bit of some baseball in his past, just like Coach Moreau. There's Robinson getting that slip back, but can't quite keep the feet, ricocheting off the hit of the safety. But to the 45 we go. That matchup out there, it's looking clean for Dallas. I would like to preserve that if I can. Let's get Gary going on the post. Try to draw that safety in and give us a nice one-on-one outside. Dallas with the touchdown. Cue up that music. What a grab in tight one-on-one coverage. Safe spot to put that one to from Weston Bryan. That might be one of our more impressive deep plays of this mini-series. Right on the money. In fact, you enjoyed that. I mean, hey, got to do my job around here. Got to plug some things, right? 35-17. Alex Smith, he's now a kicker for us. That leg, I guess, healed up pretty well. As there is a quick 3-and-out forced. We're going to get that ball back, looking to really separate here. Looking to drop the 40 bomb midway through the third. A little bit of some play action. Under pressure, and he doesn't get it out in time. Chris Foreman. That's the 3rd sack for the Dukes on the day. Get this one out to Walton now. No block on Ferguson. A good open field tackle. The 3rd and 15, this time not due to any sort of holding calls. There's a little hard count there, nothing free. And he tries to fit that one into the soft spot, but he wasn't able to step up into that throw. So bringing out the kicker here. He hit from 53 last time we saw him. From 52, just inside the right upright. It is good. It's not the 40 bomb, but we do tack on more points to make it 38-17. And I think now we could look to maybe start jumping around a little bit more. No, not play the moments. We'll choose our moments. See if our offense can get themselves going here, not just us on the sticks. Good play there from Kelman, their first big run of the game. Ruggs back for more. We'll say they look to have a pretty good receiving group. Of course, we're getting penalties on defense now, too. They got him down, goal to go at the 3 with 3rd down, and it's not enough. 4th and goal, 1 yard out, and they do settle up here with the field goal. That is going to be an 18-point lead for us. We get ball here again. We're going to start jumping through a little bit. We'll choose when we want to come on out now, because we can't get the job done there. That's a big 3 and out for the Dukes. They need another scoring drive here as we look to be getting into the 4th quarter. One more play, and it's a penalty on Elijah Fears to actually make that one more than, as they do not get the 1st down. It'll be 3rd and inches to start the 4th. Who knows what just happened there? And it doesn't give us the options to see it there either. Love it. 3rd and inches. Now it shows us it's a gain of 12 here. The Dukes trying to fight their way back in on the road. This is a scoring drive they are desperate for. Facing a 3rd and 10 at the 42. And it's incomplete with an injury to their quarterback. That could be detrimental. And they missed the field goal as well. Let's make sure we look to put that nail in the coffin then. That is a rough sequence of plays. You lose your quarterback, then you miss the field goal. Ball goes over to Bronson Robinson. And Dylan Johnson now injured after the play. I guess during the play, but down on the field after. I'll stop the clock for them at least with 8 minutes flat. They need 18 points. Bryan's going to look to step up. We could have looked to thrown there to Gary, but we will scramble forward and honestly probably get about the same amount of yardage. Ensure that that clock rolls. And a flag is down. Bryan is down as well. Probably should have just dumped that one off. We knew that play was coming back. That'll be a holding on Strong, I believe. No, Brendan Best. Don't feel like I've called his name as much with the holdings today, but that has changed. 1st and 20. Get a good block there. Robinson to help pick up some of that lost yardage. In fact, I think we basically made all of it up. We're looking at a 2nd and 8 without the penalty. Got a 2nd and 8 here, even with that penalty. Tight end right up the field. There goes Walton into the end zone. What a stretch of play he is on, racking up scores as well. It has been too long since we've got to celebrate some tight end play. Elijah Walton seems to be him. Kind of reminds me a little bit of an Isaiah Likely. Obviously, different caliber. A 44, set to be 45 here with the point after. 2:20. This game right now seems to be well in hand. See if our defense can make up for a quick stop here. Well, no, they're rolling down the field with their backup quarterback, but slowing down here now faced with a 3rd and 20. Make that, I guess, decline the penalty even. Still ends up being a turnover on down, so we end up taking that over. And they're even getting penalties on defense. So I don't even need to be out there for us to get those hard counts for success. As Robinson looks to help try to run this one to a close. Bradley getting some carries as well. Going backwards there, though, as we're inside 2 to play. They'll get one more shot at some points, but they're clean. Conference record is going to be snapped. We're getting sacks here. Ruggs still getting some catches. 4th and 4. That one's thrown away, and we'll come on out here to kneel that game away. We take down one of the 2 top teams in the Sun Belt, not Georgia Southern. That may only leave one other team left to battle us for that top spot. But right now, I don't think anyone can get in the way of this Bronson Moreau veer and shoot with a touch of power spread offense. The only thing getting in their way right now is themselves with those penalties. That is the kind of games we want to see. We want to see ourselves rack up these wins and put the season to bed here in There's a lot to talk about with College Football 27. If you guys have any questions about 27, how I think certain mechanics are going to function, and how to best utilize those functions, do let me know. You can ask me in the community tab, in the post tab, comments on these videos. Weston Bryan here has set the career passing touchdowns record for Georgia Southern. Not all our work. He was their starter last year after the injury to their official starter. I've been holding this water long enough to take a little quick drink. Make sure I don't chew the ice right into the mic. But Tyrone Hendricks joins. We got the 3-star corner from Miami, Florida. That's what we're doing around here. We're getting 3 stars to buy into Georgia Southern, especially from Miami. Now Marshall up next, the Thundering Herd. And honestly, they're one of the better built teams here in the Sun Belt. Their quarterback, Lincoln Kienholz, I think that's how it's pronounced. 80 overall, good arm strength, again, for the Sun Belt. They find themselves down in 4th with an opportunity to climb. Looks like the last time we checked, multiple teams might have lost. Indeed, Southern Miss did lose as well. So we are the final undefeated team here in the Sun Belt. Take a quick look at what's happening around. Here you go, Loco. Florida State. They're at the top of the ACC right now with a 7-2 record, 6-0 in conference. Duke as well, undefeated. Tulane, East Carolina. In one of those teams I am considering myself. Big 12, no undefeated teams. 6-1 BYU. USC, continuing to do what they do. Undefeated in the Big 10. Conference USA, Florida International. We'll say they are another team I'm considering. I'm trying to read the name here. I'm old. Got to lean in. What sliders and settings are you using? For difficulty, it is Heisman. Always Heisman. Madden is always all Madden. The sliders I use are MAT 10 sliders. That's like the go-to slider set. And normally I don't tweak too much of those. If I do, it's just because something is looking rather buggy and just needs some fixes. But if he ever makes the adjustments, I typically try out his. So you can look that up. I think he also hasn't posted on his Twitter, but probably easier to just look up MAT 10 sliders. And it should be on Operation Sports. I'll do the same as well for College Football 27, which is also why I want to give it that, a few days. Pre-order it, so we'll be streaming before the game comes out. But want to make sure, again, we give him some time to try to get those slider sets in before we start the official dynasty. So that's why we're going to kind of slow roll on into the start of that, not just jump straight on in. Final one here, Mountain West. Actually, not final one. Mountain West Conference, undefeated. In conference play is Nevada. That's a bit of a surprise. The Pac-2, not even worth looking at. And the SEC has Georgia at the top. Well, the Georgia team's doing pretty well here in this series. Let's get on into yet another game here. Looking for, I believe we got 3 more left. Again, I keep wanting to do some amount of new helmets here, but you only got the same things. You can add in at least a little bit there. That way we don't look too much like Penn State. Interesting. Whiteout helmet. That'd be cool if, actually had the whiteout in here. Now that's a nice helmet. I like that. See if they have like a gray or something, but they got a black pant. They do. Let's go black, and we go black and white with the sock or the shoe. Black and green, or do we just go straight black? I think we just go straight black there. That looks nice. Give us a little something new to see. And take that face on out of here. We don't need that. We're still here to watch some more football and Coach Bronson Moreau steamrolling over these guys. But even though he was able to bring in all these recruits and really build this offense in just one off season, How likely is that going to be with the new NIL impacts in college football 27? These are the things he's thinking about in his office. Sitting in front of his trophy case, which we hope to only grow bigger. We got 2 rivalry games back-to-back after this one. Of course, then also a Sun Belt title game and a bowl game, all of which will be today. But he's thinking about all these things he's going to have to do, because right now just the assistant head coach, he gets all the glory jobs of things. Building the offense, running it how he likes. 5 grabs, 2 touchdowns here for the hands of steel. If you try catching something with hands of steel, it's probably not easy. There's a lot on the way here for Coach Bronson Moreau, and he's going to have to prove he can do all of that and more. Question is, why is Bradley out there? Did we miss an injury in the end of that last game? Torn labrum from Bronson Robinson. That's not great. So we're going to have to see if this offense still works without our star player. And hopefully that doesn't keep the Heisman Trophy away. Make sure we get that music in the background turned off, because we got some game action here. Bradley's going to have to show what he can do in this one. Now that we don't get the exact timing frame for when these guys are going to be back, there's no telling. 3rd and 6. They left a man open over the middle. That's going to be Gary looking for the blocks there for a Bradley, taking the ball up to the 40. Haven't seen as much from him here today. Hopefully we can get him going. Gary's a big, tall receiver out there who can wreak some havoc. Right now it's Bryan getting forward as Kamari Copeland shaking up on the play. That might help out Bradley, at least for some unknown amount of plays. The big fella can get back out onto the field here for the Thundering Herd. 6-3 for them this season. Bradley with the first down run. Only loss for us this year was against Georgia, and that was more or less just because the offense couldn't find the end zone. They definitely found some turnovers, though. Defense kept Georgia down to 27 points, and Stanton Rommel a little bit shaken up on the play. Not sure if that's cramps this early on. He might have not been drinking his water throughout the week. Either way, he'll head to the sideline, get some pickle juice, and we'll see if he makes his way back out onto the field. Deep shot here for Dallas, and we just might be joining him on that sideline. We got a touchdown off the deep ball throw. Would love to see Dallas step up here in the last handful of games with a starting running back out. Bryan letting that one rip too. Could have used with perhaps a little bit more on it. Dallas did have to pull up just slightly. But that's us just finding something to complain about. That's a good way to start this game off. We'll get that reset here in the background. 7-0. Taking on the Marshall Thundering Herd. Lincoln Kindholz is one of their top guys. About an 80 overall, and he finds 18 yards to Xavier Short. On second down, this is back-to-back throwaways. Leaving 10 needed, and Jalen Lloyd can only find 9. But no problem. Chris Johnson Jr., if I'm not mistaken, is he related to Chris Johnson, or is that also Chris Johnson Jr.? So in which case, that would be Chris Johnson III, and would answer my question. Talking about the old running back from the Titans. Anyone know for sure? As Carson Kent gets the first down, and C.J. Allen injured on the play for us. We've had a number of injuries on the defensive side. Marshall facing a 2nd and 17. Chris Johnson's back for 4. Again, that math doesn't math as it leaves 4th and 14 with the throwaway. Marshall having to settle for 3. We'll take over at the 25. You know you're getting old And the guys you used to watch play football now have kids playing in college. Bradley with some space, a nice little hop over the down defender. Could have used maybe a little bit more shake and bake on that run. But he's primarily been just a north and south kind of guy. Looking for a lane here, and he had a whole lot of it to the left. Amari Copeland back down on the field here following that play for the Thundering Herd. So it seems like we might have a guy to target in this one if he's going to keep taking those knees. We'll keep an eye on the interior of this defensive line. The 2nd and 7. And that's going to be incomplete. Ripped down from the side. Chasen Clark with the hit. Not a huge fan of this play, but we're going to see how it lines up here for us. Let's look for that timing outside. We hook up with Dallas. 87 yards and a touchdown for him. Plus a much-needed first down. We get a little bit of some hustle in us here. Tight end again is open, but it's going to get picked off. A great play made by number 43 in Holmes. Looked like they had Walton with a big-time setup play. Just not enough Moostert on the throw. And it's a 50-yard touchdown to Xavier Short. Marshall in front here. 10-7. That's how you flip a game on its head. Marshall finding themselves right into this one and on top. Keeping this one is Bradley. Now he's got some space, but not enough to break away. Having to weave through the 2nd and 3rd level of the defense. 6 carries, 32 yards with that one. They're definitely protecting the outside here. Leaving a good hat count down the middle. Now we don't have a normal run. Well, if you're going to bail inside or look for a quick hitter on the outside, Dallas flipping this side of the field. I don't know how I feel about that. Thought we're about to give some love to Maher, who's now back over on that side. Look for the quick throw here. Gary, wish you didn't turn outside and instead kept things inside. You might have had the first down there. Leaving us instead with a 3rd and 2. Double fullback look, including a backup lineman who does not get a block, but Bradley's through for the first down, taking it down to the 25. And it looks like we're looking for a bit of some hurry up here. We got Joyner in the game. Talking about we've used him all over the field. Well, now he's going out on a route. And looking to get Walton this time. That helps make up for the interception. Still a risky throw, but risking it for the biscuit. There goes Weston Bryan. As the team tries to hustle back to the line here. One more play in the quarter and spinning for some dramatic finish. It's Bradley with the touchdown. We go ahead and take that lead back. Good seeing this team still making plays despite us missing arguably our best player. 14-10 as we get into the 2nd quarter here. Don't want to see that. That's a big penalty against the defense, and it takes them well inside plus side with the 11-yard grab here from Carson Kent. I feel like we've seen a number of tight ends being utilized here by the Thundering Herd. Penalty again. Free yardage after free yardage. Taking some back there with the sack. Thrown away. It's 3rd and 18. Back at the 20. They only get 12. They'll settle up then with the field goal from Zach Hooper, I mean. Making this 14-13. A close ball game yet still. But we are just a couple minutes inside the 2nd quarter. As Bradley's going to get the carry here, and not much space. Once again, Chasen Clark. If only we had a guy named Clark he was chasing. Going to take this one right up the field, though, is Bryan with a flag. Once again, it's on Rommel. I do, however, believe that one was at least a little bit down the field. Though that doesn't look to be the case, as this is 2nd and 20. Go to the old trusty screen then. See what Bradley can do with a little bit of a convoy in front. Well, we didn't get the block there from 70, and a late flag comes in. Do the refs realize that we're not playing at Marshall? Well, it's a 2nd and 26. We're backed up inside our own 10. They look to bring that blitz. We get it just out in front of the corner. And we're going to at least pick up close to half the distance. That leaves us still with a 3rd and long here. We've done better with some crossing routes. Let's try to make sure we get some of that here. The 3rd and 15. Anything free? Nothing free. And getting hit right when we had the windows to throw. Sid Kaba. And now Marshall will get the ball with some momentum. Top of that fairly short field, too. 3rd and 5. Knocked away by Lincoln. Not by Lincoln Kindholds. That is by Keenan Nixon. Just read the first name that popped up. Defense comes through. We'll take back over. This time at the 20. They're definitely stacking the plus side of the field here. Slow spin. It is 2 yards. J.J. Bradley averaging 5 yards a pop. Oh, we had an option to throw. Flag comes in. This one's backing up again. Hard to keep these drives going smoothly with all these penalties. Do we got anyone keeping count yet? I would love to know how many we're at on the day. Probably around 50. In fact, that's probably something, if I knew how to program some things, or like program a holding counter up in the corner or something. Over the middle, too much loft, and it's going to be picked off. Bradley with the tackle. That one, once again, needed some more juice. The receiver was open. Weston Bryan unable to step into it. Marshall putting up a good fight here in this one and looking to take a lead with a score of any kind. And they're going to have to settle then for a field goal opportunity. Hooper gets it. It's 16-14. Thundering Herd in front here at Georgia Southern. We need Bradley. We need Bryan to take over this one. Too many mistakes out the gate, but some free yardage up the middle. We slide down on the midfield logo marked at the 45-yard line. Timeout called by Marshall. I think their coach needs to yell at them after giving everything up down the middle. No one stayed home. Our matchups look like really good for these receivers, but they do have safety help over the top. Good blocks and a bit of speed here coming from Bradley. Bursting forward. Look for a little hurry up after that. Everyone lined back up here. Risky throw, and Gray's just going to get the grab there. That's, again, the one negative I have about the veer and shoot. They're just spread so wide, it's really hard to get a good read on them. We line back up here. Trying to step up, but can't step up in time. Once again, Jason Clark making the play with a 3rd and 13. Looking for some deep curls here at the mark. Going back to Gary, and he's got the grab. That's why we need all 6'5" of him out there. Get us line back up. Get what we can. Maher, no, can't squeeze it. 2nd and 10 here. Make sure we get some blocks out in front here for Bradley. None of them outside, so he cuts back inside and stonewalled at the marker. They do call it 3rd and 1. Crowding the line here. No one jumps early. Clark once again. What a game for number 10. 4th and 6. We'll look to take a lead. We've been pretty clean with him. This is another one good. Lead change. Yet again, 17-16. And the defense come through. Keep us in front here through halftime. Marshall with a throwaway. But then they get 10 back. However, referees don't give them the first down here either. 3rd and inches. And they'll get it done with Chris Johnson Jr. Though time is running down. They've got 1 timeout to use, and they use it there, leaving 13 and a 3rd and 2. Which they get the first down, but they are out of time. So we hit halftime. We do not get ball. It's back over to Marshall. They start with 6. Follow through with 9. It's been a good back and forth between these two teams. I'm liking what I'm seeing. The 3rd and 8. Incomplete. That should be a punt forced. And we'll have a chance to grow that lead here. We haven't played that full game in a while. Marshall just might force it as we start back inside the 10. Everyone bites inside. We go quick flip outside. Walton just short. Good news, we got downs to work with. A change out of that play here. We got a couple quick options. Take it on the slant. Get the catch from Dallas. First down to the 25. It's all about just attacking space here. Wherever it is, they leave it. That's where we look to go. Right up to Walton. And he's got it on the run. Breaking away from the herd. And diving front first into the end zone. That's all about making your pre-snap reads. Weston Bryan with a good one there. A good play call adjustment to send Elijah Walton straight up the field. And the tight end just keeps racking up points. Make sure you show him some love. Reset all of those as well. That's a good way to start the second half, a 75-yard touchdown. That'll definitely get you feeling better. 24-16. Marshall, and they respond. Knocked away by Bodnar. And incomplete. Defense with the 3 and out. This time we'll get the ball starting at midfield. Let's go ahead and start to milk a little clock as well. Start with a little bit of some spread. They do look to drop back into coverage. Here comes the penalties. Might as well just slide on down. I believe that one was Rommel. Yes, indeed it was. Just too many holding calls. I would love for them to keep that as a stat. Let me see at the end of the year how many penalties each of these guys have. All right, Rommel. Joyner, you're in. We've been a little bit more lenient on pulling guys in this one, but not helping us out much. Get that catch, get what we can, get down safely. Again, just about taking what's free out there. As we look to turn up. Again, take the quickest option. Not every play has to be the home run hitter. You just need 3 to 4 yards per play for that first down. Barring you're not having to deal with all the holding calls we have. That's for sure. And speaking of holding calls, we've got another on a scramble. However, that should force them to take the penalty. This time it's called on Riggs. He's had a pretty clean game so far, pretty clean day. That one will be a little bit of a stain. They actually decline that penalty. 4th and 3. Of course we're going to stay on out here. We got a good hat count as well. And we're going to get it for free. Marshall thundering herd. Jumping early. You could say something spooked them. We'll call that 1st and 10 then at the 37. We look to attack downfield. Dropping it in beautifully. We find Platt in the end zone. A little bit slow here. I don't know what that effect's all about. Maybe because the crowd is shaking. This place is rocking. Jay-Sean Platt with a touchdown. Weston Bryan with that 3-quarter release, lofting it right over the defender. What a beautiful throw. And now we're definitely feeling a lot better in this one. Starting to separate, make it 31-16. 4 to play in the 3rd. See if Marshall can find their way fighting back into this one. They do pick up a big 3rd down conversion. Plus get the penalty here, defensive holding on Bodnar. But then it's intercepted. Victor Evans. We're just baiting them right now, making them think they've got that opportunity. That's what we like to see. You know what I like to see? All this possible free yardage. Right to Walton, but he's got to come away with that one. How did we hold that quickly? That ball was thrown basically as soon as it touched the hands of Bryan. Rigged. Unintended. 2nd and 20 then. Let's look for that lane. Bradley. Only 2. See if maybe we could get... No, number games don't look good out there. Hat count isn't awful. Look for something here for Bradley. That's another 5 yards for him, but still well behind the sticks. 3rd and 13. Nothing free. Throws downfield, caught by Gary. 2 yards short of the marker. And yes, we're still up in this game, but yes, we're still out on that field. Because we've got a wide open target that it took too long to throw. Good news. Game still lets us do it. Platt with the 1st down. I wanted that throw right off the snap. But it works. 1st down, we convert. 4th down. Look for the check down here, and that's some helmet-to-helmet contact. Good news, both players are back up. And that is over 2,000 yards passing this season. I feel like we would have already passed that. With 2 more games after this one in the regular season. We're going to work our way to the 4th quarter. 31-16. Marshall kept it close there early. Some good back and forth. Georgia Southern, though, separating in the 3rd. I would love to find us on this top 25 board at the end of the season. Would just be something good for the resume. Might also need to double check to make sure we're chewing clock here as well. But a 2nd and 7, we begin the 4th with a little hard count action. No one jumps. Throws just a little bit behind Walton. It's covered well. Daniel Harris, lurker linebacker. That leaves 3rd and 7. Nothing free there. Goes back left. That's going to be caught by Platt. 1st down for him. This is more than we've seen from him all season long. And it's coming out of the right time to get high. Stick with this one underneath. A little tall there, but he's going to find Dallas. Taking 2 to take him down. That'll be at the 15-yard line. A little bit of some hurry up here. You would think that they would be chewing clock, but they're just feeling too good. Amari Copeland, though, once again down on the field. He's battled through injury today. We'll have to head over to the sideline. That'll force us off the field, but the clock still stops. 8:27 to play, down at the 12. And it's going to be a backside leak out here for Bryan. He will carry it to the end zone. A one-sided affair has begun. 38-16. Just over 8 and some change left in this one. And this is where we will start to jump through things a little bit quicker. See if Marshall can make something happen here. Well, it's a sack from Ticket. What happens, you try to combine words. 27, though, to Antonio Harmon. First time I've seen his name pop up in this one. They might be having to do some rotation. Only 6 there this time from Harmon. Leaves 4th and 4. And it's a 29-yard rush from Lincoln Kynols. That'll keep the drive alive, and it's a touchdown right thereafter. Chris Johnson Jr. Marshall not quitting yet, though they do miss the 2-point try. So we might need to make sure we jump out here. Help see this game through. Probably try to go a little bit more towards the run side of things. Let that clock run. We are up by 16 points. That is 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions to tie. Bradley with a big run here to start the drive. He's sitting at 90 total on the day, 15 carries. And a keeper here for Bryan. Looks like he wished he didn't do that as he tried to cut back towards the side of the running back. Jamal Weiss ends up getting the tackle. Weiss Jr. That leaves 2nd and 10. This time they do hand it off. It is to Bradley. He's going to scoot forward for about 7. Leave us with a 3rd and 3. Just by the midfield line. Well, hard count gets something for free here. As we will just step up anyway, get it done, sliding down. And declining that penalty should keep that clock rolling. We'll make sure to decline, let the yards stand, and let the play stand. It does actually stop the clock here. Interesting. Pretty sure in real life they run it right after they get the call out there. So it's about as close as we could get it. It is still a game. Maher, stay in bounds, my guy. We'll take the gain of 4, though. We look for a little counter action here. Bradley with a good cut there. A little hop, jump, scoot, whatever you want to call it. Gets the first down. Be inside the 30. New man out there, Anderson getting a carry. He gets only 1. Bradley's right back out there. Not going to miss much of this opportunity. Following his lineman, Bradley with some space, scooting down inside the 10, and a Marshall timeout to follow. They'll have 2 more remaining, $1:23 here for Bradley. As it's been nothing but runs this drive, and it will finish in the end zone. Had to put a little bit extra behind that one to see it through. The crowd has been loving this season. The stadium is as packed as it could possibly be. Watching this offense just light up the scoreboard game in and game out. Of course, not counting that one game against Georgia. But who knows, at this point of the year, if these 2 teams or if those 2 teams met up, it could be a completely different game. 4th and 7. Marshall tries and they get nothing. So somehow they still have the ball. I don't know. I guess we gave them an extra drive in this one. Up 45-22 as this clock is just about ran out. And that one will do it. The win streak continues here for Coach Moreau and the Eagles. 45-22 over the Marshall Thundering Herd with 333 yards passing, 81.5% complete. And I believe that said 4 touchdowns here for Weston Bryan. Coach Ty has delivered one of the best offenses the Sun Belt has seen. And he's still got to take over a new school in the same region. And we see him continue to do this on College Football 27. What do you guys think? I know one person's going to say no. Not with the College Football 27 defense and all the changes made. We still have a number of games to go through today. We're only at an hour and a half here, and that was about the halfway point. So we're going to be looking to get to around 3, maybe more hours today. A lot of football for those who want to watch. A.J. Gibbs, 3-star receiver from Clover, South Carolina. We're taking recruits now from the Gamecocks. A 3-star will linebacker, Thad Wormley from Bradenton, Florida. I know how to read. Voodoo. I can't even fathom playing 26 after I played 27 beta. Is that good? It's that good, eh? I know there's a lot of big changes happening. I'm excited for it all. Definitely excited. Georgia State and the what would have been revenge game. And I don't know if you guys saw it there, but we are now inside the top 25. From unranked coming in here at spot 24. Let's get my face on out of here so we can celebrate. We've taken Georgia Southern to the top 25. But I don't know if you guys saw it towards the top here, as we'll take the face and we'll put it back in. SMU is all the way up to number 3. That's crazy. Obviously, they are a team that has used NIL very well in real life. No other crazy teams. I mean, Memphis jumps in from unranked. Boise State from unranked. Nebraska from there as well. Tulane drops. Texas drops. In fact, we did see a lot of drops here. Oregon from 9 to 18. Tennessee 15 to 17. Florida 10 to 15. Texas Tech, no one wants to play anymore. Duke went from 7 to 13. A little bit of change at the top. Georgia now drops out of the top spot. A lot of change happening here in the waning weeks. But we've got 2 more games in the regular season, and both could go into Coach Ty's trophy cabinet. With a rivalry win, if I'm not mistaken, the Commissioner's Cup against Georgia State. I don't think that cup is in the game because they don't have it pictured there, just the rivalry. But that is another trophy we could possibly win. They're not a very well-built team. Looks like we are rolling with Bradley due to the unseen injury to the team's leader in Branson Robinson. Looks like he's going to miss the rest of the regular season. But it's not the last time we're going to see him. He should be back for the postseason. Sun Belt title game and a bowl game. Brandon Tyson also out potentially for the rest of the year, same as Chance Gable. So we are missing some big-time players on our defense. Hopefully, we'll see it through. As it stands right now, bowl projections. With 2 games left, they've got us slated to go to the college football playoffs. If indeed that is the case and we do make it to the playoffs, we will have one more stream here for Coach Bronson Moreau. It could be a short one. It could be a long one. Who knows? But we are currently slated here for the college football playoff. Obviously, we're sitting at 9-1. We're a ranked team, but we are far outside the top 15, let alone top 12. That makes these next few games even more important. Let's make sure we don't disappoint. Get ourselves back ready to play. This time we're on the road, not going that far. Let's go for the Cure helmet here and white pants. Give me the clean white shoes as well. I like it. Now, Georgia State, what do we got here? Got a fun blue. I do like the blue. The black was more of a matte or like an eggshell similar to the blue, I think would probably have been pretty good. What does the black look like? That is better. It is better. The stripe doesn't make much sense on the black, so we're going to go blue. Go black socks. And what about black and blue? Or black and blue? There it is. I think we can stick with that. That looks good. Let's jump on in then, as this game just became even more important. Not only is this for the Commissioner's Cup rivalry game, but a loss in any of our last 3 games, including a Sun Belt title game, could knock us out of the playoff race. Something Georgia Southern did not expect. Perhaps Coach Bronson Moreau did. He brought in one of the most talented groups of players the Sun Belt has seen, giving a lot of players a second chance. And they are taking advantage of all of their opportunities. We are underway here. A really nice looking stadium. In fact, kind of gives me baseball stadium vibes. Does Georgia State play in a baseball stadium? I need to check this out real quick, because that looks a lot like a baseball stadium. Oh, for sure. 100% this is a baseball stadium. Center Park Stadium. I'm just going to do a quick Google because I didn't realize that. Not a baseball field, according to Google. It is a football stadium. Well, it is the former home of the Atlanta Braves. Okay. So it is a baseball stadium. It's just no longer a baseball stadium. I see how that works. Okay. So it wasn't wrong, but I wasn't right either. Sometimes that's just life. Either way, fun atmosphere. Maybe makes me reconsider Georgia State. As we look for somewhere to go here, it's Bradley with the carry. Before the game, though, Robinson told him, get the win for me. Of course, formerly of Georgia State, formerly of the Georgia Bulldogs as well. The pressure's going to wrap around. They forgot about one man. Now force a 3rd and 8. And getting some free yardage back here. The same man who picked up the sack is the same man giving us a free 5. Basically erasing the sack. That is Raymond Robinson. Opens up the playbook then for us here. Give me a little bit of this drag concept on the drive. I'm going to get Maher over the middle. Nothing free that time. Oh, they're ready for the drag, and it's going to be a fumble. Big boy scooting out there. It's Ramo to scoop it up and take it to the 45, but he's saying, everyone calm down. This one's coming back. How do you do that to a big man? Big man takes away big man's play. That's just unfortunate. Out of everything Ramo's done for us this year, holdings included, I want to make sure he got that highlight for him, but no. Get some blocks here. Bradley scooting down. It comes up a little bit short. Looks like coach is motioning for the offense, however, to stay on the field. 4th and a long 2, more like 2.5 yards. No hard count to work there. Offensive line feels confident here. But Bradley's chased down from behind. Coach Moreau can't believe it. Brings out P.J. Hatter and the Panther offense. Hey, it's a rivalry game, and crazy things can happen, especially when you also have the weight of the college football playoffs in the waiting. They start with a gain of 9 and a touchdown for DJ. I don't know how to pronounce that, but Braswell, 23 yards. Georgia State, what a start. And now we got to play from the hole. Really wish we were able to keep that play from Rommel. Once again, the holding calls being the problem here. Bradley with 3. 3 attempts for him as well, 11 yards. Platt coming off a good game. We'll see if we can get him going a little bit more in this one as he gets across the linebacker's face for the first down here. Call it about 9. We don't need it all back in one. We just need to make sure we catch our groove again. As that pass is outside to Maher, not able apparently to toe tip. Looked like he thought he had toe tapped the sideline all the way, still going up the field, but the referees call it back, saying he was out of bounds. Bradley with some space, tracked down at the 31. They actually mark it 32. I'm starting to feel like we're getting shortened a little bit here. Either way, big run. Anderson to check in. And under pressure, that one might have been thrown away from inside the pocket. Looks like that's the case. That'll be a loss of down, a loss of 5 yards, and a 2nd and 15. Actually, no. 2nd and 20. God, that's a 10-yard penalty. I feel like that's one they should change, that it's actually marked the losses based off of where you threw it from. But it's Maher weaving back to the opposite side in a foot race, and he's not given the touchdown. Millimeters shy at the most. Tommy Maher just not being allowed to score this year. And we still got the old school mechanic here. Quarterback dive, no meter. Offensive line needs to just do enough, and they do. Just enough to play that music. It's a touchdown here for Weston Bryan to tie things up midway through the first quarter. But still, we've got a long game ahead of us in this one. Love to see the defense pick up another quick stop, or pick up a quick stop, I should say. Technically in this game, they've not done so. Big scoring drive for Georgia State coming off that previous stop for them, the turnover on downs. Penalty to help them out here on Nixon. That leaves 2nd and 7. They get 10 to Braswell. Same man who had the touchdown. They continue to march down this defense, missing 2 of their top players. And they are gone for the rest of the season potentially. Penalty there on Carlo Thompson. And it's going to be a Georgia State touchdown. 13 make it 14-7 as Liam Rickman tacks on the extra point. It's the Panthers right now in the driver's seat. That's not been something Georgia Southern has had to face this season. They're going to have to figure out a way. As Bradley's got the lead block downfield, almost slipping through, but the feet get caught up. Still, we're able to pop up with some good runs here and there. That's what we need. And throwing this one just before he crosses the line, and he's going to find Platt. We've got another score for number 84. Unfortunately, there's only about 20 people on that side of the stadium to see the score. The rest are sitting back in the center and right field bleachers. Jason Platt to tie the game. That's a good throw there from Weston Bryan. I'm not sure if he did cross the line or not, but it was close. Now a 3rd and 10. Make it a 3 and out here. And the Eagles get the ball about a minute inside the second quarter. Looking to turn this game around. Weston Bryan with an empty backfield. Only 4 men up front. He's just going to take this one himself. Straight down center field and sliding down safely. Felt the pressure coming. That'll take us to the Oppo 45-yard line and get him some positive rushing yards on the day. Looks like we might have a good matchup on the outside, too, with Tommy Maher. Safety help, though, is going to drift that way. Bryan once again going to scramble out, sliding down with a gain of 13 to 14. Longest run of the day, 20 on that previous run. This time we'll give it to Bradley. Almost getting around the corner. That's a big tackle for the Panthers. I want to extend that route a little bit further down the field. Walton, I want to make sure it gets well over the top of that safety. So the other safety comes in to help out. Unfortunately, this is going to be a holding call, and Bryan didn't want to slide down there. Guess he needed to feel a little bit of that pain of the penalty. They'll back us up to the 39. Second and 17. Taking away the run there of Bryan. Look to get this one out to Walton with a good block on the outside by the receiver, Tommy Maher. Not as good as what we would have had if the previous play stood. Third and 6. A little hard count and unable to snap the ball in time, so it's nothing free. Looking to break through. There goes Bryan. Still rumbling and taken down at the 5. Looked like he was about out of gas as he reached the 5-yard line. Couldn't even slide down. They'll hustle back to the line here. Bryan checks the sideline to get the call. Looking for their first lead of this game. Bradley shakes, and he scores. Eagles in front here down in Atlanta. Make it 21-14, 5:25 to go in the second quarter. J.J. Bradley filling in admirably for Branson Robinson. See if our defense can pick us up another quick stop here. With a 3rd and 4, it's 5 for Braswell. Panthers trying to make sure they come away with something on this drive. They're forcing a lot of penalties on the Eagles defense. 3rd and 4, and they get 18 to Austin McGee. A red zone trip, and see right back to Austin McGee. All down at the 4, and there's the touchdown to Anton Stoneberger. Mind you, Stoneberger. We got a tie ball game now, about 3 minutes and some change. Panthers not going anywhere here in this rivalry game. We start at the 28 here. Receivers spread wide. And not much opening up, so just take something easy over the middle. Called that about 4. Simple pitch, simple catch. Bradley here, he's got some space to basically flip the field now, plus side 47. And a timeout going to be called there. Panthers needed the breather. It's 78-on-8 here for Bradley. Throws back left side, but having to adjust. Dallas trips up on his feet. Leaving us just inside 2:30 to go. They're letting some clock run down here as well. Downfield tight window, still for the catch, but still won't matter. Offensive line had to sit in their squat for too long. Rommel holds and erases the big catch downfield by Walton. So 1st and 20, or rather. And already another penalty down. Bryan will just finish the play at least, but that is back-to-back on the tackle. Loco saying Old Turner Field. Yeah, we were talking about that earlier. I didn't realize it was the old Braves Stadium. We got to take out the man with all the holding calls. Joyner back into the game with a 1st and 30. Definitely a country mile here. At least we got the pass out. Looked like he was trying to find Bradley. Good call here, game. That's exactly what I was wanting. Got to get down to about the 25-yard line for a first down. Blocks downfield, and we could have used another one there, Dallas. You'll get a negative grade on that play. That at least makes things more manageable here. 3rd and 9 rather than 3rd and 30. Well, hard count, nothing free. Linebacker sat over the middle, but he stayed down the middle. Bryan sliding down as he crosses the 15. Looking to once again find the go-ahead score here. Pitches out just in time. It's Bradley taken down inside the 10, and a timeout called by the Panthers. That leaves them one more remaining as we're inside a minute 30 in the first half. Empty look here for Bryan. Run that hard count, no one jumps. Dallas has the space, and he's got the score. Once again, it's Georgia Southern in front here, trying to claim the Commissioner's Cup, but another trophy in Coach Bronson Moreau's case, and continued their push for what has turned from a good bowl game into potential college football playoffs. Of course, a lot of games still to be played to decide. Right now, you got to hope that the defense can make their plays. Well, how about a turnover forced and a chance to go up 2 scores before the break? Udnar with the pick. They did highlight the turnovers of the Panthers quarterback over the last stretch. And there's Platt. He goes up and he finds his way in. There would be no denying the receiver. It's a quick back-to-back score here for the Eagles. And it's 35-21. That's how you flip a game. Sean Platt. Tell you what, I've never had this much success with the hurdle than I have today. College football 26, going out with a bang. Had to take a little drink of water after that one. False start, Zach Vaughn. Finally, not a penalty on our offensive line, as that will take us through halftime. We'll kick the ball off. Georgia State gets the ball. They got to find the way back to the end zone. Kyle Washington with 20 yards will definitely help them out. 25 to Hatter, or from Hatter to Robinson. That time it's all Hatter, just 1. 6 to Braswell, 3rd and 3. They get just 2. And they do settle for the field goal from Liam Rickman. 35-24. Higher jump equals more success in hurdles. Indeed, Edward. I don't know if we just got more athletic guys than I typically do. That could be the case. Probably, honestly, is the case based off of the guys we're recruiting on the outside. Though, we'll say Robinson has also been hurdling guys, so either way, hurdles have been working today. As we're now feeling a little bit more comfortable in this one. Was shaky early on. Bradley with some more space, trying to get that quick stop cut outside. He would have had a lot more space to run out there. Can't be disappointed, though. He's had a great day. Lay this one out here for Dallas, who's going to get the grab. Call it about 6. That may be less than what we could have got if we ran with Bryan, but ultimately he wants to still throw that ball. He's ran around a lot today. Do not get the block initially. 49 still gets the tackle. But it is, however, a first down. 2 yards away from the century mark is Bradley. However, we're going to check out of that read option. And go with a handoff here. Bradley with a cutback. Holt has just been a little slow that time. The cut works. And well past a century now. 111 on the day for Bradley. A little bit of some play action here. Going for the tall man downfield, and it's a touchdown, Gary. The tight plays have not been enough today for the defenses. We are bringing down these high passes, and that time the high pass actually worked. Needed all 6'5", plus the arm length as well, but Gary with the touchdown snag in the end zone. Loco, would we possibly get a little side coach mode dynasty along with the year-long? Yes, definitely possible. Or is that too much with all the new features? No, I think it's definitely possible. Again, that's why I was asking everyone their thoughts on doing just college football versus doing some college football and some Madden. And I will say thanks for everyone voting on that, because it's been one of the most voted on things in quite some time. And for a while, the split was winning. But recently, over the last about day and a half, just college football has taken over. Again, it's still close. What that tells me is about a quarter to 50% people who watch this channel want to watch some Madden content. The rest of the 50 to 75% could really take it or leave it. So I think the plan is going to be, we're going to really wait on Madden, see if it's good, if it actually works, or if it's as broken as it has been the last few years. If that's the case, then we'll just do college football. If it's not the case and it is actually good, we might jump on the train a little bit later after we get some series underway with college football. But what I'm planning on is probably sticking to a similar schedule. I accidentally simmed one of our plays. Sticking to a similar schedule to what we got going here, with 2 days a week for the flagship, the edited videos, and then 3 days a week doing a stream. I'm probably going to do 2 for Road to Glory out the gate, and then we might do 1 that's a really chill, laid-back stream that is going to be more of that coach mode. Kind of similar to what we did with the, if you were here for that, I think you were, because you've been around here for a while, the States Only Challenge on Madden, where we built the team, but we didn't play the game much. We jumped in every now and then, but let that kind of be the coach mode. That way it's just super chill, a nice day to just talk about some football as Maher's popping up with another big play. But definitely that is one of the things I want to do, because it is that new feature, and it's been something I've wanted to do for a while. And consider we also could even do a states only in college football. Probably would be harder now with all the NIL stuff, but that is something we could do as we head to the final quarter here in Atlanta. Looking to bring home another rivalry dub. It sits 42-24, so we're definitely going to start jumping through this one a little bit quicker as Walton gets open downfield. Now, he's a guy we did not bring in. He was already here. One of just, I think, 2 tight ends we have on roster. But he's definitely picked up his play this year. I've really enjoyed the use of that tight end. Getting the pitch out just in time, only to lose about a yard there. Going to the running back. But he can use with a little bit of that. His stats today have been great. A quiet year for him, as we've got Bryan into the end zone. Go ahead, tack on another score. The Eagles, while it might have been a little bit chaotic early, first half definitely, they have absolutely pulled away here in the second. And we're going to look to start really getting through this fourth quarter. We'll jump in with any sort of interesting plays, interesting timing, especially if the Panthers can get something going here. They need a 3rd and 7 first. Knocked away by Caleb Ellis. And they went for it. Not enough. We'll take over. Inside scoring range. 3rd and 4. I'm fine with us taking that field goal and dropping the 50 bomb right there. Tyler, how you doing, bud? My favorite college football content creator. I missed the KO Day episodes, but the prequel is awesome. Hey, you could always go back and watch some KO Day if you want. Appreciate you being here. Appreciate the compliment as well. We've got a lot more coming. A lot more different series, some expanded Road to Glories. I've been really enjoying those Road to Glories. I need to dive in a little bit to all the new additions over there. If I'm not mistaken, they did fix as Stoneburner picks up 23. I want to see how much they fixed of the getting offers based off of production rather than your players overall. Because KO Day should be playing for some of the top teams. He's won, spoiler here, Tyler, if you're going to go back and watch any of that, spoiler, but he's won so many awards, Heisman Awards, and that is with an S, and he still doesn't get much of any offers. So really hope they fix that. Oh yeah, he did go to Indiana. Indiana's been an interesting team. I think we didn't pick up anything there. I think that was actually our first punt of the game, perhaps. Sack coming in, as there's just not much doing for them. We're going to start hopping through here, as we've almost dropped 60 on them now. The one-sided affair is over. We will take home another big rivalry dub. One more here for the trophy cabinet. And that time we left the music on the whole time. Hopefully that breaks the road to glory problems where when we forget to turn off the music, we don't score. My bad on that one. I'll make sure to turn it off next time. But it was good for all the portions that we were just skipping through. That is now one of 2 rivalry games in the books. And let's see where we're looking here with that college football playoff, which again means we're not done with Coach Moreau. In fact, we might get through this next game, see where we're at, if we're more so locked into that college football playoff spot. Or you guys let me know right now, do you want to see the Sun Belt title game in today's stream? Or would you prefer we save all postseason for next stream? Because I think that also works. That would be Sun Belt title game and at least first round of the college football playoffs, which would mean we would have at least 2 games, you would imagine. Though if I'm checking the board here, now we're out of the college football playoffs, despite getting that win. So that's confusing. Now they have Memphis in there. So it's not signed, sealed, nor delivered for us. With a week to go. That is very intriguing. We even climbed up in the rankings. Memphis, they went from 19 to 15. We went from 24 to 22. Okay. Excuse me. By the way, I gave in and bought the MVP Plus membership. The college football beta is good. It is way harder, and Dynasty seems way more solid, but did not get through a season. You can play it if you want today, unless you want to wait. Either way works. I think. Oh, you're talking about the Sun Belt. Well, apparently we may not be into the college football playoff, because when we checked before that last game, they had us projected. Now they have us in the Boca Raton Bowl. I mean, how different could you be? First round of the college football playoffs versus Boca Raton. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that. I guess the quality of the opponent is why Memphis got ahead. Probably. Strength of schedule. I mean, how much is in this game? I don't know. But it is keeping the storyline interesting. That is for sure. Boca Raton Bowl, though. We've got Appalachian State to finish up the regular season. They are 62 overall. And they're not even highlighting any of their players. As it stands right now, it is us and James Madison at the top. But obviously, Sunbelt is the only one split. And we're in the same one. So James Madison is already out. We have clinched the Sun Belt title game because we beat James Madison. So even if we lost this last game, fingers crossed, we have the head-to-head on that. On the west side, it is Troy Trojans at 5-2 and Southern Miss at 5-2. I don't know if it's possible but it sure would be fun if both Southern Miss and Troy lose, UL Monroe wins, and they get in instead. So Southern Miss and Troy. You know, we're going to have to check in on that. The school that brought us back to football probably should have went for the other way, since I need to go all the way down to U's. UL Monroe. They lost to Southern Miss, so there is no chance of them getting in front. They also lost to Troy, so there is no rematch versus ULM. That's unfortunate. Does ULM have the cool, like, teeth helmets? Yes. They have a couple different ones. They have a red one, and then they have the P40 ones, which are white. Really nice. All in all, they got some cool uniforms. Stadium could be a little bit bigger. They're not on my list for College Football 27, which is obviously why we used them here today. But let's jump into another game and find out what our postseason is going to look like. Because we thought we were in the college football playoff. We were selected in that last week, and then we step in this week, and they say, actually, you know, maybe not. So we're going to have to play them for it. And another rivalry matchup. Those are fun. Mountaineers with a... I don't know who that's supposed to be on the helmet. Sorry, I'm not much of an App State kind of guy. But why not? Let's give them the gold there. Why not? We could have the color. Actually, we got to change the pants, or the shoes, I mean. The white didn't make sense. There we go. Let's get on in then for a potential shot at playoffs. Either going to do Akron in your first one. Stadium surprisingly is $30K. Yeah, that's been the problem with Kent State. It's just the 15 to 17K is just so small. Really nice stadium, but it's lacked a little bit of that atmosphere. Honestly, Georgia State has a really nice stadium, a former Atlanta Braves stadium. That'd be fun to play in. There's a couple other schools that have some interesting stadiums and might be a mid-tier team. I think with what we've seen here from Coach Bronson Moreau, it would make sense that a mid-tier team who has struggled would considering handing over the reins. Especially if we can get Georgia Southern to the college football playoffs. Georgia Southern also holds a 2-game win streak in this rivalry. The game is on our side, but we still got to finish strong. 1 game away as well from getting back Robinson. It's Bradley with the start, spinning through the gap. He's got 8. Of course, he's coming off a really good start as well. Now, I'm going to make a whole video about this. As I slip in the chair, trying to scoot back a little bit. But you see how quickly we're jumping in and out of these games? That's not going to be possible, I feel like, in College Football 27. Of all the great things that they added, and I know some of you are going to agree with this, adding in the wear and tear practice mechanics of Madden is just infuriating. It's the least useful thing. And I think there was so many different things they could have done better. Like actually getting in some proper and quicker auto rotations would have been great. We don't want to go in week after week and set practices and all that. I get it's more authentic to football because you got to practice. But it's one thing I hated doing in Madden, and I probably won't enjoy it much in College Football 27. We'll see how it all functions, though. Again, I haven't got my hands on it yet, so I don't want to say it's bad before I know, but it's definitely one thing I'm cautious of. Meanwhile, we got a 2nd and 9 here. Post rant. A little RPO swing out. Missing the block, though, was Dallas. And we could have had some space there. See if we get Platt another touchdown in this one. 3rd and 11. As they drop back into coverage. However, they don't quite pick up the blocking. using the shoulder and getting the job done and potentially taking a player out in the process. Tevin Tucker injured on the play. That's why we call Weston Bryan Ben Roethlisberger 2.0. Platt with the sticky hands there. Check those gloves. Or don't. Prefer you probably don't. Get a good block there, and not quite so much. So the receivers not laying down some great blocks early in this one. Get Maher on the slant there. Try to ensure we get that nice one-on-one downfield with the tight end back corner. Almost, but it ricochets away. The success we've seen with some of those deep balls today, had to try it. 3rd and 9, though. Going to be a free 5. Floating this one out, and it's technically in the hands of the other team, but it's coming back, so no sad music. You could stop waving here because you clearly didn't see the extra yellow on the field. We'll take that. You could thank Ellis. That leaves us with a 3rd and 4. Looking for a slip screen here. Getting it out to Bradley. Good blocks in front, and he will spin out of bounds. Wanted to make sure he didn't get hit, I guess. Looking to take that early lead. Did I turn off the music? No, I didn't. Now's a great time to do so as we are inside the 10. And there's the grab from Dallas. He might have mixed a couple blocks, but he does not miss the catch. Make it 7-0 over App State to get the regular season finale underway. That also means it's senior day, too. Not going to do too much focus on the seniors because obviously this is our last time here anyway in this series before Coach gets a nice little vacation or a lot of work to do in College Football 27. Going from not having to manage much of the team outside of the roster and calling the offensive plays to being in charge of everything, including staff, support staff, a budget now. It's absolutely crazy. And practices. To loop back over to that. App State, though, they are running down the field here with a 3rd and 9 at the 16. And they get 9. First down at the 7. 2 more here for Alexander. Looking to punch this one in. They need 2 more yards. But we hit the second quarter first. And there's the touchdown for Max Guest to follow. 7-7. Mountaineers not out of this one yet. Really slow, methodical start to this game for both sides. What's our blocking looking like? Doesn't show us much. Matchups looking pretty good. Maher not necessarily standing out, but the blocks, or should say the DBs, are downfield. Nothing wrong with a free 5 underneath. And that's something we're all going to have to get used to. College Football 27. The free plays. That's what you're going to have to focus on. Want to see if we get Dallas with a nice clean release downfield. As he looks to get underneath this one, he can't hold on. That's a good battle out there in space. Defender wins that time. Leaving 3rd and 5. We got the quick inside, finding Platt. Platt turns up the hash. We might have not got the deep ball, but we got the breakaway. It's another one for Platt. A quiet first 2/3 of the season. But what a last handful of games. Jay-Sean Platt coming to play. He's emerged a little bit as we've not seen as much from Gray. Or Gary, I should say. Really taking in that big man slot role. Plus, we've also focused a little bit more on the tight end usage. I mean, we're just well distributing the ball around. The offense is clicking across the board. You also hate the weekly training management, too. Start was getting your food. Hey, no problem. Get the food from the oven. We don't need anything burned around here. I burnt my pancakes this morning. Luckily, they were still pretty good. Can't remember the brand. Kodiak, one of those protein pancakes. plus added extra protein, making it with milk rather than water. What do you guys, pancake or waffle? As we get our next drive underway with that touchdown lead still intact. And we could have thrown outside, finding Tommy Maher. Instead, we'll just scamper here with Bryan. 4 rushes, sitting around 40 yards. We're down to the 36 now. Handed this one off. Bradley just getting what he can as the defense came flying in from the corners. Tyler asking which one I am, pancake or waffle. Honestly, I'm a hybrid type guy, but I prefer pancakes if they're made correctly. You're a waffle guy. See, my thing with pancakes is the inside, obviously, they've got to be fluffy, soft, right? But the outside needs a little bit of a crispness. And most places struggle to make it right. Penalty's already down here, so Brian's just going to slide forward. Yeah, if you can't give me a nice crisp outside with a fluffy interior, I'm going waffle. As right now, I'd prefer our offensive line not hold, but turn the defensive line into waffles, stepping on over them as we run right over them. Bryan here with a carry. We'll pick up 8. Let's see if we could get someone to the corner. You like the waffle because of the little cubbies. You know, it's not bad. Makes sure that every bite's got a little something as that one falls incomplete. Quick rush. App State looking to bring some heat here. Force a stop. It's 3rd and 12. A little hard count. We'll take that delayed reaction. I don't know what the left guard was saying to him, but it was enough to get him to jump. I guess as long as the referees don't hear, it's legal. So 3rd and 7 then. Give me a post here from Dallas, but I do want that a little bit shorter. Kind of like a deeper slant, if you will. Although they do drop back into a good spot. We'll take the yardage here. Bryan, though, he coughs it up. Ball still on the ground. And it is recovered by Georgia Southern. That's the first time today he's put the ball on the ground. So a good reminder for us. Slide. We don't need to try to force him to run through guys. Backspin not going to work that time. Brenton Kinney ready for him. And it's a loss of 1 at the 12. They are bracketing Dallas over on that left-hand side. But we're going to take that free play. And we'll look to just leak out as they all cross. That should be the touchdown. We'll wait for the confirmation here. And they do call it on the defense. I had to make sure there wasn't a holding call to offset. Pemberton, thank you, but we don't need it. Touchdown here for the Eagles to make it 21-7. And if I'm not mistaken, those were the App State cheerleaders cheering for the other side. Not too sure how they're going to feel about that one. But 21-7 here with about 3 minutes to play in the first half. As we're looking to just run through this one, give us a good push back into the potential playoff bracket. But once again, we're letting the Mountaineers climb on up the field. Yes, pun intended. You have to know this by now. A 4th and 3, though, at the 32. And the field goal is good. That's going to leave us about 1:30. Just under after the kickoff. Weird little gap there in that word. Kickoff. There we go. That sounds better. 1:26, 3 timeouts. Nothing free to start. As we will throw out late and hook up with Gray. He's not just height. Those legs are good for speed. Breaking away from the coverage. He's actually not very fast. I want to say about 86. But it's a whole different level here in the Sun Belt when it comes to speed. Bradley with the first down and out of bounds. 9 for 12 is Weston Bryan in this one. Don't like that look out there. We're going to change out of that. Force that guy back to the inside. That, luckily, is dropped. Should have been a penalty. The linebacker straight up ran into Dallas. No penalty was thrown. We catch ourselves a little lucky. Weston Bryan as well. He's going to look for the check down here. Bradley scooting to the outside and not quite with enough there for the first, but he does, however, stop the clock. Blocking, though, does look good for us. Anderson checks into the game. However, the blitz hits home. And now you're going to have to send out the kicking team. A 49-yarder lined up just about with that left upright. He's been good for us, though, this year. And he will drop that one over the crossbar. Tacking on 3 here for the Eagles. 24-10, both teams scoring a field goal here late in the first half. Does still leave some time for App State with a pair of timeouts. That drive only took about 30 seconds off the clock. However, this drive, slow start here with 4 straight runs. Then they pop up with a pass, but at that point, they are out of time. 29 yards is where they end the first half. They do get ball to start the second. They're going to need their offense to find some points here, but they just come up short, leaving 4th and inches, and they do punt away. Tommy Maher with a fair catch. We'll take over here for the first drive of the second half for the Eagles at the 28-yard line. More empty set. Should have checked that into a quarterback blast, but we're going to get Platt either way. The addition of his play out there has really been big here for us. Really let us kind of open up the playbook a little bit more, look to attack more areas of the field, not just relying on 1 or 2 guys to get it done. Bradley with 2. That has us 2nd and 8, closing into the midfield line. Going back to Bradley and looking to outrun Quinton from behind, who's stuck with him down to the Oppo 39. Well, I guess this definitely helps answer the question then. Is it the play of the offensive line? Has it been the play of the running backs these last 2 years? Or is it Coach Bronson Moreau? He's let now 3 running backs really take over offenses. As Bradley is playing well, he's racking up yards. However, he does have a really good offensive line right now for the Sun Belt. As Bryan checks the play here. About 6 to play in the third. And they're going downfield. It's Dallas just by his outstretched arms. It looked like Bryant saw him there late, panicked a little bit on the throw, and that's going to cost him a score. And the hit's going to cost him there, potentially a first down and potentially interception. We will have to punt. Both offenses not going anywhere to start the third quarter as the score remains 24-10. Quick 3rd and 7 here and a quick 3 and out for App State. Defense is on it. Want to make sure we help separate more here in a 14-point ball game. Looking at Platt here out the snap. That's where we go. Get some free yardage, I was going to say. For the defense, that's a free stop if you just drop it. And keep here, Bryan. Only going to manage about 1 there. I feel like we haven't ran a screen in a little bit, but I do like this play. Especially when you give me some free yardage on it. Big boy moves early. Second time today for number 91. We'll take that. Thank you, Pemberton. Now that changes up the plan here then and gives us that opportunity to go with a halfback screen. 3rd and 4. They bring the blitz. They'll take this one outside then. Big block from 58. Get the block from Dallas. 11, though, stays hustling to keep him out of the end zone. But it's a red zone trip. It's a goal line set here, in fact. Just add on a little bit more there. Down to the 6. Bradley. They might be ready, though, for this one. If they buy it in enough, and we'll just throw that one off the back of the head of Rommel. I like the initial set of that play. I like the design of it. It just doesn't quite function. But check out of this play, too. Go to the standard run. Splits were too wide to get a good read. A second-hand goal here. Needs some blocks, and Bradley will get them. That's another score for running back 2, taking over the last handful of games and helping try to give Georgia Southern a chance at the college football playoffs. But apparently, it is out of our hands. And in fact, since I do have to get a video for you guys tomorrow, I think we will go ahead and call it after this one and leave a little bit of some anticipation for the postseason. Basically, I know we're going to the Sun Belt. That is already locked in. We're going to the Sun Belt title game, should say. We're going for the second straight year, this time for the team we beat last year. If we win that one, as we recover a fumble, Christian Bodnar. And apparently I'm skipping that play. But if we win, then there is a good possibility that we do get in to the college football playoffs. So I think we're going to build that anticipation next time. And if it does end up, an unfortunate end, we still will have a bowl game after that one too. So it is for sure going to be 2 games next time, potentially more. And I think that would be a good way to go. Give us just one more stream here with Coach Moreau. And what was a surprising potential way to end it, that one floated to the turf, avoiding the sack. Leave us one more play in the 3rd. Checking out of that one, though. We're going to go with a run. At the 42, good pull, and that opens up for Bradley. With a good cut, looks to get outside. Good way to end the 3rd quarter. And looking to separate entirely here, the Eagles up 21 points with the ball. And following that run, they are down inside scoring range. Number 22, Georgia Southern. 10-1 on the year, undefeated right now in conference play. Looking to keep that the same. Go back to the Sun Belt title game where they met up with Coach Bronson Moreau last year when he was with ULM. They came up short in that game. They don't want to come up short again as the big man's free for the touchdown. Just in the corner of the eyesight of Weston Bryan. It's Gary with the score, and that is 38-10. Hawaii is the hardest rebuild to do. Do they have NIL for Hawaii? Because real life, the Hawaii Senate, if I'm not mistaken, voted no. The Rainbow Warriors do not have at least a government-funded NIL. I don't know if they have maybe donor IR or NIL. The defense picking up another stop here. We're going to let this one start to roll on a little bit as they went for it there on 4th. Gary with another 13. All visits are 40 points. Yeah, because nothing's close. Yeah, because the visits and the cost of those, as Elijah Walton gets the score, the visits are based off of proximity, which it makes sense. You'd have to spend a little bit more money to, get someone from the other side of the country. So I like a lot of the authenticity and the realism that was added. I could just do without the weekly practice management. I'm thinking to make a whole video on that one. Because again, I think there's some good things that you could do with it. I think there's some things that could be tweaked to just make it a little bit more streamlined. And again, maybe that's something that your support staff can manage for you. And if it is, great. Right now, App State, they're trying to get something on the board here. And there it is, a touchdown catch and an injury to Patrick Loomis, starting center. We're definitely going to keep on hopping through this one. If we get into some scoring range, we will pop in. As right now, well, actually, that's game. I was about to jump in, but the game is over, and it is a sweep of the season ever since that Georgia game. The deeper than hate rivalry goes to the Eagles. Not as clean of a game there from Weston Bryan, a little bit more incompletions, but you can't hate the game. It was fantastic out there. Crowd, though, a little quiet. I don't know if you guys could even hear anything, because I certainly do not. But that means next time we are going to find out, because I'm going to look to wrap this up a little bit quickly here, because I got to go take care of something. But what a way to close out the season, and the hopes of now college football playoffs on the horizon. We know next time for sure, as we are continuing to break records here. Josh Dallas now with a single season receiving touchdowns record. The portfolio of Coach Bronson Moreau just keeps building. Well, that is where we're going to look to leave it off. Absolutely phenomenal. We've got a chance at the college football playoffs next time, though we start with a Sun Belt title game. A bowl game is for sure after that, so we're at least going to be there for about an hour or so. But potential college football playoffs, that could really help project Coach Moreau into a bigger tier team to start next season, or college football 27. Your 4-3 defense vid helped me a lot. Hey, I'm glad it helped you a lot. We're going to have to potentially rework some of those when it comes to college football 27 and the revamp there. So a lot of master classes there coming your guys' way. We're going to be touching a lot of videos here. Dude, it might be more than the standard we're doing, but now that we're wrapping up a couple series, we'll see. But we're going to be talking a lot about college football 27, and we're not just going to be talking about new features. We're going to talk about how you utilize them and how it's going to work with football, the best ways it works. And, well, frankly, if there's some things we don't like I think the wear and tear practice management, but that is where we got to leave it here today. Appreciate you all for being here. If you enjoyed, if you're new here, make sure you do stick around. Hit that bell icon in the bottom right corner of your screen. We're here at least 5 days a week. Like I said, we'll be back tomorrow. We're going to talk a little college football action. And to make sure you don't miss out on that or anything else happening around here, you can also hit that bell icon down below so you're notified of when things happen. And lastly, if you did enjoy, make sure you let YouTube know by hitting that thumbs up. We've got a lot coming your way. Great performance today from these guys. And again, if you have any questions about football, college football 27, leave them around here. There's a lot of places you can in the chat, in the comments, even on the community tab. I'm pretty sure I enabled the option for you guys to leave questions for me. If not, I'll double check that. But you can let me know, and we'll touch on those. Again, talked about the 4-3 defense. We might need to, again, rework some of those. So if there's some more questions you guys have on that, what you should actually call to stop runs, stop certain passes, or for offense, how to beat certain defenses. Again, let me know all the things you guys want to see, and I'll just add it to the list of things for us to cover, because we got a lot coming. This is an exciting time of year because the new game is out, and this time looks promising, right? So until next time, which will be tomorrow for that college football talk about. Next stream should be good to go for Saturday. Before I say that, let me double check the schedule. And Saturday is good. Sunday is good as well. Now, we haven't decided yet on a Mecca KO day. That's one thing I did forget to plug earlier. Right now is a poll posted for a Mecca KO day. Do you want to see him return for a super senior season? Or whatever other school we could go to besides Indiana, because we want a postseason appearance for him. Or you guys could ask for Madden, and ask for NFL draft. And if that's the case, we got two options then. We wait a while and see if Madden's good and bring him to superstar mode in Madden 27, or we could potentially do a Madden 26 superstar mode. Again, I'm always up for your guys' thoughts, your inputs on this channel. Voting days happen fairly often, so that's another good reason to have that notification button on so you do get notified of when I post those polls. But as I said before, I'll say it once more. This is where we're going to leave it off. Appreciate you guys all being here on a random Tuesday stream. And we'll look to see you guys later. Hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday. And I'll look forward to talking a little bit about college football 27 tomorrow.